don't know what the weather is going to be like around here. I do get really anxious during storms.
That's why they chose HailGuard. When performance leads, confidence follows. Backed by the first and only asphalt shingle system with a hail warranty.
That just gives us more peace of mind.
This is the only asphalt product on the market that has the manufacturer warranty targeting the hail damage, and it gives me a lot of confidence as a contractor.
Engineered for enhanced impact performance. Built to protect homes and reputations. HailGuard shingles. Built for hail.
Hey crew, Matt Meister here in the Peaks to Plains Weather Center. We are bringing you an update here on severe thunderstorms brought to you by Tamco Building Products, or HailGuard shingles, beyond Class 4. And we still have some strong storms going over the eastern plains. Severe thunderstorm warnings continue. So I want to take you to Tamco Live Radar out across the eastern plains. We're in extreme southeastern Lincoln County, western Cheyenne County, and western Kiowa County. We still have severe thunderstorm warnings. They are in effect, kind of varying here from 6:15 until 6:30 with a couple of storms that are moving through the area. And recently they have produced some hail around 1.5 inches in diameter. This is from about 20 minutes ago. This is our Peaks to Plains storm chaser, Joseph Velasquez. He was on Highway 94 southeast of Hugo a little bit underneath one of these storms. That's 1.5 inch diameter hail that he had in that area. And so I want to thank Joe for sharing that with us here. We also have a flash flood warning about where Joe was on Highway 94 until 8:30 this evening. And I tell you what, these storms, like a lot of them today, have been producing some heavy rain. There are some spots in this area where we have seen rain that is between 1 and 2 inches in diameter. So these storms continue to roll off to the east here. And not only are they bringing the threat for some large hail that continues, but also some very strong wind on the leading edge of these things. And let me widen out just a little bit here, but out ahead of them, you see this little thin line. Well, that's the rain cool there, the downdraft with the storm that is rushing out ahead of them. And we have measured some wind gusts this afternoon over parts of eastern Colorado with previous storms and these storms earlier in their life to between 50 and 65 miles per hour. We are still catching some wind on the leading edge of this that is in some spots over 40 miles per hour. But we're up into the storm here. We are not at the surface because we are a little bit away from the radar site in northeastern Pueblo County. You can see that same outflow boundary extending all the way back west here. Moved across Crowley County now. It has moved through the Pueblo area. It's moved through Canyon City. So we've all seen the wind pick up out of the north behind this and a temperature drop. The other thing we are watching this afternoon, or early this evening now, I should say, at 6:06, is a strong thunderstorm that continues on the backside of Pikes Peak. We have a flash flood warning in this area. It's between Divide and Cripple Creek, so it does include Mueller State Park. It includes rural communities back here on the backside of America's Mountain. It is in effect until 8:30. We've in some cases received up to 2 inches of rain as well. And I want to take the Pueblo radar off here and look at that with the Denver radar. And you can see west of Highway 67, still got a pretty good hail with it. Given that we're up at higher elevation here, this could be putting down some hail between 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch in diameter. And that is something that we will continue to watch as well. We've had some light rain moving over Colorado Springs here over the last little bit, but these storms have put down some heavy rain out there today. Our other Plains storm chaser was out earlier today, and this did not have a severe thunderstorm warning on it at a time. Did not have a flash flood warning, but this is what it looked like south of Rama. Matt Manillo and his truck Blue Thunder there that you see kind of in the foreground catching some strong rain. So we've had a number of issues out there across eastern Colorado through the afternoon. We remain under a severe thunderstorm watch until 9 o'clock this evening. Admittedly, the biggest threat is with the storms out across the plains, but we will keep watching everything as we move through the remainder of the afternoon. And you can see the reports that we've had today They range from hail. We'll get Joe's added in there. In fact, I do see that it is in there now. Here's Joe's report. This is the video that I just showed you off to the southeast of Hugo near Boyero of 1.5 inch diameter hail. It's about ping pong ball sized. We had some smaller hail reported earlier today outside of Ponderosa Park in eastern Douglas County, kind of right on the Douglas and Elbert County line. But these storms that rolled off the Palmer Divide produced quite a few wind gusts, like I said, between 58 and 65 miles per hour over eastern El Paso County. And we've also had another day of some flash flooding on the Aspen Acres burn. This is what it looked like at 1:35. By 1:40 at Game Gulch, Highway 78, where the USGS has put up a camera, you can see the water had risen significantly. By 1:45, that trend continued, and then the water was running over the highway, and about 15 minutes after that, the water had receded. I saw an update from the Beulah Historical Society that their sandbags that aren't too far from that camera, actually, they failed today. I also saw a couple of videos from some of the flooding that they had yesterday that was pretty significant, of dark ash and debris. There was a truck that had to be rescued out of 8 to 10 feet of water just to the north of Beulah. So it's been a difficult weekend to the southwest of Pueblo in the Aspen Acres fire. And we knew that that would continue to be the case, and that's been the case out there today. Let me show you here how much rain we've had across the area today. And this is looking at the last, I'm going to do 6 hours here. So this captures the bulk of what has fallen through the afternoon, and we'll just take a little tour together. The storm to the west of Pikes Peak that is producing the flash flood warning right now has dropped in some cases more than 2 inches of rain. At least that's what we are estimating. We had a storm earlier that produced some heavy rain coming off of the slopes of Cheyenne Mountain, rolled across Fort Carson. I didn't see any hail reports over an inch, but I've seen some pictures and some video of quite a bit of hail that was coming down with that thing. We roll out over the plains. Here's eastern El Paso County. Some areas for the second day in a row catching some really, really big hail out across the plains that I showed you from Joseph, but also some significant rain for areas that were not getting hail. Just to the south of Rush, where we had some hail yesterday, 2.5 inches of rain today. Here's what it looked like in that area a little more than 24 hours ago when our storm chaser, Joe, was out there yesterday, and that's what he caught near Rush. So some of us are getting multiple rounds of significant storm activity, and some of us are missing out on stuff. And isn't that how it goes? Some of you that have been missing out on stuff have definitely been, letting us know that you're bummed that you haven't been seeing that activity because you certainly, want some rain for sure. Let's keep taking the tour that I was telling you about out across eastern El Paso County. We get into Elbert County and Lincoln County, and you can see a couple of bullseyes here where we have the ongoing flash flood warning. Hugo westward along Highway 287 south to Highway 94. If we query this data, you can see here, this might be contaminated by hail a little bit, but some places got about 3 inches of rain at the minimum out in that location. So it has been very, very significant for some areas. Off to the southwest of Pueblo in the Aspen Acres burn, we've had another day here in and around Beulah where we've had another 1 to 2 inches of rain. That's what's caused the flooding out there today. Some other spots, Trinidad, just to the south of town, we have done well today. So we'll keep watching these storms here rolling out east across the plains over the next couple of hours. While I've been talking, my friends at the Weather Service have expanded a severe thunderstorm warning across Kiowa County here until 7 o'clock this evening. It includes Eads, it includes Haswell. So not only are you going to see some wind gusts around 60 miles per hour, but we'll watch these individual kind of cells here along this broken line now to move eastward here and maybe bring the potential for some hail as well. So that's a long time. That's a 45-minute warning for now. And again, these storms continue to roll off to the east, and they are continuing to bring rain-cooled air down to the surface, and those downdrafts are rushing out in front of these storms, and that's why the Weather Service has issued this. We've seen several rounds of this kind of storm evolution, or morphology we call it, over the last 4 days since we started picking up these strong storms on Thursday. And they have done a similar thing where they've gone up against the higher terrain, and then as they roll out across the plains and they're around for longer and longer, we get these elongated areas of wind that are rushing out ahead of these storms. And some of you may be looking at that, and if you want to come on here and show us what might be a developing shelf cloud out ahead of them, you can certainly do that. You can come on here, Peaks to Plains Weather. You can use these URLs that we use to do our weather together. And so what you can do is put one of these in. You can go onto your phone or your tablet, and then you can come on after you give permission to your microphone and your camera, and you can do a live report with me here. A few folks checking in here. Got 45 hundredths of an inch of rain at Isaac's Place on the south end of Colorado Springs. Simla had some good stuff earlier today. Got some good rain. Sharon passed that on. Tiffany got just under an inch near Judge Orr Road and Barrage Road. Got 60-mile-an-hour gusts as well. And then some folks are on the other side of the spectrum. Who is that? Martha says, I've been dry in Canyon City. But look at along the leading edge of this outflow now. We are getting some additional storms to fire up in southern Crowley County, northern Otero County. So around Cheraw, we are going to get some rain here. We're getting some between Ordway and Rocky Ford, getting some over Fowler now. Avondale, we are catching some. Vineland, we've got some cells going up here in the vicinity. So we'll watch this. We'll watch this outflow as it moves toward the Aspen Acres fire, because we're getting a little updraft going just to the north of West Cliff and Silver Cliff in Custer County in the Wet Mountain Valley. And that outflow is moving southward here. And so as that interacts with the terrain, and since we've got an updraft back here that'll be drifting off to the east, we'll keep an eye on the Aspen Acres fire. Those two things could come together, could see a little bit of intensification. It's something that we will watch. It's been a busy afternoon, my friends. Catching some good old-fashioned rain now across the Pikes Peak region. And we can see that here from our view camera in Woodman Heights. Catching some rain, looking back toward Pikes Peak that has had 2 rounds of hail on top of it today. Got several questions from some of you asking if we had snow on top of America's Mountain. But here's what it looked like. Jamie sent this in to us. That was the hail that moved over with the first storm of the day. That was the one that ended up rolling over Fort Carson earlier. And now here's what we've got in Woodman Heights. And we're also catching some rain here in Kissing Camels. We've had a couple rounds of that move through earlier today. And we're looking south toward Cheyenne Mountain. And you can see there's a little bit of clearing off to the south there. So it's been an active day. Let's talk about tomorrow really quick. Things start to change up a bit. And part of the reason is the high pressure that was off to our southeast for a good chunk of last week had the monsoon going over the top while we were bringing in low-level moisture behind the cold front that came in last Wednesday night. Well, it's been shifting westward through the day today. And we've got some drier air that is back to our west in the upper levels of the atmosphere. And that is going to move into our mountain locations tomorrow. You can see that sort of sharp drying there. We are still going to have moisture at the surface, especially east of the mountains. But watch what happens over the high country during the day here. We really start to dry things out a little bit. The low-level moisture will be, kind of slowly pushed up the hills during the afternoon. But with the drier air coming in aloft, we should shunt some of the activity mainly down across the southern tier. I think that's where the best coverage of storms is going to be as we move into Monday. So let me start you off here at 10 a.m. tomorrow, and we'll take you into the afternoon. And you'll see along the Raton Mesa that some storms fire up here as we head into the afternoon. They should not be as intense as the storms today. And then we might see farther north a storm or two develop at some point, maybe late in the day, a couple of storms fire in the vicinity of Pikes Peak and Colorado Springs. These storms could still put down some heavy rain, no doubt about that, but a quieter day than what we've got out there. In fact, here's what happens for the remainder of the evening. The storms that we have keep moving off to the east, and we'll see some of them maybe last until past midnight. With time, the intensity pulls back, but we may have some of them going in the southeastern corner until early Monday morning. Barb's asking, is the terrain the reason the donut hole misses out on Penrose, Canyon City, and so on? Not necessarily, Barb. Sometimes you guys are sitting in the moisture channel and you do really well. But you are in a rough spot on a day like today for the formation areas of storms. Coming out of Bighorn Canyon, in fact, let's do this here. I need to get some grease on my mouse. Been working it so hard. All right. Let me pull something up here to answer your question. And I'm going to get rid of the radar here. And I'm going to tilt down with the camera. And then I'm going to come toward Pueblo. And I'm going to swing around to the west. Okay. There we go, more west. Okay, so we're looking about due west here. So you've got Pikes Peak on the right-hand side of the screen to the north of the areas that you were asking about. And you've got the Wet Mountains to your south. Now, down on the river here, coming out of Bighorn Canyon, is a low spot in the Rocky Mountains. And so the terrain tends to form thunderstorm activity, you know, on the slopes of the Pikes Peak Massif, and then down here on the Wet Mountains when the upslope in the afternoons is pushing up against that. And if the steering currents aren't bringing the storm toward you, and they weren't today, storms were kind of moving to the east-southeast, where you are, you're going to miss out. Sometimes storms will form on the moisture that's sitting here along the river. I mean, sometimes we have moisture down here on the river that's kind of moving westward. And when it's moving back toward the hills, a storm will kind of fire on the edge of that, and then it just rolls right down the river on the moisture. That's the setup for you that is good in terms of thunderstorms, and we just haven't seen that out there today. So if you're just joining us here, we have ongoing severe thunderstorms out across the far eastern plains. For Cheyenne County, for Kiowa County, off to the southwest of Kit Carson, a severe thunderstorm warning is up until 6:30. Haswell underneath a severe storm right now. This is mainly for wind rolling off to the east here. Hail sizes look a little bit smaller than they were earlier. So let's say nickels or lower. So if you're out ahead of these things, just know that, yes, some good rain is coming your way, but you also have the potential for some damaging wind gusts. And a little bit farther to the south, we'll watch these storms here rolling across Highway 96, off to the northeast of Sugar City, Highway 109 here, Chirac catching some of that, off to the north of Rocky Ford, Swink, and La Junta. And that outflow is just to your north and will be moving southward here. You'll know when it gets to your place. Wind will pick up out of the north around 40 miles per hour where you are, but these new thunderstorms could strengthen that. So it's possible here in the next 15 to 20 minutes that we get a new severe thunderstorm warning for this area as these new updrafts start raining, start producing their own downdrafts here, and maybe provide some enhancement to the large-scale outflow boundary that is working south. My buddy Jim Martin asking how the weather was at Waterworld today. The wife and kids just pulled up in the driveway, and I think they had a pretty good day. They might have wished it was a little bit warmer than it was. My hunch is they had fun, though, Jimbo. All right, crew, that's this update here on Peaks to Plains weather. Thanks for being part of our coverage. We appreciate it. Barb says thank you. Barb, you are very, very welcome. Always happy to help you, my friend. And a reminder that if you would like to participate, that's what this is all about. you want to come on and ask questions, we would love for you to participate in that. We love being here for you, and we love being part of our weather together. I, this week, have a couple of things. My son and I are driving him back to college. We leave Tuesday, so I'll still do mornings with Meister Tuesday morning at 6:30. I do that every Monday through Friday morning, whether you're on social media, whether you're watching on Roku, Fire TV, on YouTube right now. If you're in the Peaks to Plains weather app, peakstoplainsweather.com, you know, we are always happy to do that. And I'm always doing that, my live show Monday mornings at 6:30. This is interesting. I just got a note from the GM of the Pikes Peak, Broadmoor, Manitou, Cog Railway, and he says there was some snow up on the summit today, in addition to some hail that was rolling through the area. So it's wild up on top of America's Mountain, my friends. I figured that was all hail, but he told me that some of it was snow. So there you go. If you're traveling tonight, just to let you know, some thunderstorms here coming off of the Cheyenne Ridge, a few moving into the north side of the Denver Metro. There is a severe thunderstorm warning in Morgan County, just to the north of Fort Morgan. That one looks like it's producing some large hail, just real quick to my eye. And then I want to keep a little bit of an eye here on northern Otero County. These storms are strengthening a little bit. Let's do something here. Let's look at the hail, automated hail detection with it. It's picking up on the chance of some, not too much though. Check this out here. Yeah, probability of severe hail is still low, but I wanted to look at that to see that the algorithms were starting to pick that up. Sorry, I didn't show that to you. Sometimes I do that. I start watching a couple different things. Just to the north of Sherrall, we're probably getting some small hail at this point. I'm going to watch these storms closely. Just know if you are out in this area, if you get a severe thunderstorm in the next little bit, it's probably for some wind. So areas to the south of there, like La Junta, you know, the outflow is moving toward you. And if it hits the airport and produces a gust of 58 or more, the Weather Service will take a severe thunderstorm warning on that. The storms off to the northeast have a little more oomph with them. That's why they have severe thunderstorm warnings that go for another 4 minutes. Those may be expanded. The big one there that you see that includes Eads, that one is until 7 o'clock. The ones up to the north of there expire here at 6:30. So that's our situation here on this Sunday evening. I am Matt Meister. This is Peaks to Plains Weather. Our weather together, our storm coverage on Peaks to Plains Weather is made possible by Tamco Building Products and their Hail Guard shingles. We appreciate them for doing that. Thanks for being here with us on this Sunday evening. We'll keep keeping an eye on things. Keep keeping an eye. That's what we are all about, because this is our weather together. Have a good night.
Hey, this is John May, General Manager of Petrale Roofing, up on another customer's roof doing a free 21-point inspection. If you'd like us to take a look at your roof, give us a call today, 719-375-8773. We'd be happy to take a look and see the condition of your roof. Petrale Roofing, we're a Diamond certified Tamco installer, which means we can offer a industry-leading 25-year workmanship warranty to give you peace of mind in the storm. Call Petrale Roofing, 719-375-8773. Schedule your free inspection today.